My wife claimed the lake house for her friends. She had no idea what I had planned. All started on a sunny Friday morning. The kind of morning that should have promised calm and leisure but instead set the stage for months of tension to come crashing into focus. I had looked forward to the weekend at our secluded lake house, a place that had once been our sanctuary, where laughter and quiet mornings by the water had filled the air with warmth. But my plans, and the quiet retreat I had imagined, were quickly dismantled when she casually announced over breakfast that she had invited her friends for a girls' weekend at the lake house. I froze mid-sip of coffee, the heat of anger and disbelief bubbling up inside me. She had never even consulted me. The house, our shared escape, had been taken from under my nose. "It's just a weekend," she said, smiling, brushing off my frown. "You'll find somewhere else to stay." Her casual tone, the smugness in her eyes, stung far worse than the words themselves. For weeks leading up to this, subtle signs had hinted at her growing disregard for me and the life we shared, late-night messages that disappeared too quickly, unfamiliar names popping up in her calls, little excuses about meetings and gatherings that never quite added up. I had watched, patient, meticulous, noting patterns, saving screenshots, and even setting up a discreet camera in the living room, small, unassuming, hidden in plain sight. My plan wasn't to confront her yet. I wanted irrefutable proof, a way to reveal her duplicity in a manner that could not be denied or laughed off. As Friday evening approached, I packed a small bag, not with the intention of sulking, but with the quiet thrill of anticipation. While she was away at her spa appointment, preparing for the weekend with her friends, I made my move. I accessed the camera feed, reviewing the months of evidence I had quietly accumulated, the messages, the late-night arrivals, the whispers, and the meetings she had assured me were harmless. Each image and recording told a story she had hoped to keep hidden. And now, with the lake house poised as the stage for her weekend of freedom, I realized it was the perfect setting for the reveal. By evening, she had left with her friends, the car packed and laughter trailing behind her like a long ribbon of false joy. I arrived at the lake house quietly, walking through rooms she had prepared for her friends, imagining their casual invasion of a space that had been ours. I placed my laptop on the kitchen table, connecting it to the speakers and large screen I had already set up, small details she had never noticed in her excitement. I didn't need to call her, the moment would reach her on its own terms. The files, meticulously organized, held every secret, every lie, every indiscretion she had thought hidden. The first message I sent was simple: "Welcome to your weekend." Within minutes, her phone buzzed repeatedly. Confused texts and frantic calls began to pour in as the laptop screen flickered to life, displaying everything she had attempted to conceal. Every late-night rendezvous, every flirtatious message, every detail she thought would never be exposed, now played out before her and her friends, who had no idea what they were walking into. Gasps filled the air, whispers erupted, and panic replaced the casual laughter she had envisioned. The smugness she had carried for weeks dissolved instantly, replaced by disbelief and desperation. She tried to regain control, sending frantic messages and calling repeatedly, but the evidence was already in motion, undeniable and irrefutable. Her carefully crafted world of charm and secrecy crumbled as I revealed everything, letting the files speak louder than any argument could. The friends she had invited for a carefree weekend now stared at her in shock, unsure how to respond, while she fumbled for explanations that could not possibly undo what had been shown. Standing there, calm and composed, I realized the full weight of my plan's success. She had believed that claiming the lake house was an act of dominance, a way to assert control over me and our shared life. But in truth, she had handed me the perfect stage for exposure. The house, once a symbol of retreat and joy, had transformed into the setting for her reckoning, the space where truth could no longer be hidden, where deception met consequence. By the time she returned home, her friends had left, the awkward tension lingering in the air like smoke. Her face, pale and unsettled, reflected the collapse of her assumptions and her inability to manipulate the narrative. I didn't need to lecture or scold, the weekend had already spoken volumes. The smugness, the disregard, the casual domination she had tried to wield had backfired spectacularly. The evidence I had gathered, the patience I had maintained, and the subtle, quiet execution of my plan had turned her moment of triumph into a moment of exposure. That night, as I walked through the lake house, now quiet and still, I felt a strange sense of satisfaction, not in vengeance, but in clarity. The weekend she had imagined as hers alone had become a mirror, reflecting her choices and her deception back at her in a way that could not be ignored. My careful planning had not only exposed the truth but reminded both of us, in stark, unflinching terms, that control is never as simple as it seems, and that patience, observation, and strategy can turn even the most confident act of defiance into an unforeseen downfall. She had thought she was orchestrating a victory, a carefree weekend with her friends, leaving me sidelined. But in reality, she had unknowingly handed me the perfect opportunity to reveal everything she had tried to hide, and for once, the lake house belonged to truth, not illusion.